Hi, I'm Falcon Rad FPV, and today we're going to be taking a look at the BETAFPV Pavo35 Cine. BETAFPV supplied me with this product free of charge, but everything I say in the video is my own words, and they've had no control over the content of the video. Alright, well, let's get started here. So the version they've sent me is the VTX plug and play with a TBS receiver. So it's got the Crossfire receiver in it, and I just have to put in my own VTX. I plan on installing this Caddx Vista into the Cine for my VTX and camera. Alright, well, let's open the box and see what we get inside here. And first off, this is actually a nice looking box that this comes in. Alright, let's take a look at what's inside. Alright, so this set of props, what are these? Yeah, these are Gemfan D90S props. Oh neat, there's an LED. A cob strip LED that comes with it. Now I'll have to check with BETAFPV if this is the standard package for this. Flying with the 1100 mAh 100C rated lava battery, I was easily able to get 7 or 8 minutes of slow cinematic cruising, and I ended up being pretty close to storage voltage when I came into land. It looks like these are some parts for the GoPro mount and some kind of camera cage setup, I guess. And there's the rest of it. It's all put together, assembled, ready to go. Yeah, it's quite an interesting looking frame. Just a really big, wide body on it. Looks like this might be fairly good for vibrations. I'll have to see. I don't know. I wonder whether it'd be an all one big unibody, like all one big piece. Sometimes that tends to have an effect on vibrations, but the way the arm structures are made out like this is looks like it should be good for vibrations. And it's got the plug for the XT60 right on the front there. One thing I have noticed after flying with the Pavo35 now for a while, that the XT60 plug being right in the front there does sometimes cause the battery lead to push up against the back of the GoPro. But this doesn't seem to have affected the footage at all, as far as I can tell. So this front section has a little bit of damping to it. So I guess this holds the FPV camera as well as the GoPro. We'll have to see how that works out for flying, because my first thought is that a little front heavy with a GoPro mounted up here. I guess it's tipping back like that a little bit still. Yeah, I'll have to see how that flies. I wonder if this GoPro mount should be a little further back in the frame. After all the testing that I've done now, I can tell you that the GoPro mount positioning seems to be fine for this quad. I've checked the motor temperatures after 7 or 8 minute long flights with the full-size Hero 9 or the Hero 11 Mini up on the front there, and the motor temperatures are totally fine. It doesn't seem to struggle with it at all. But it is a 3.5-inch Cine, so it should have plenty of power for managing the weight. For the motors here on this, these are 2006 or 2006, and they're 2400 kV. Oh, it's interesting how this one goes together. It's definitely much different than the B35 frame. So it does look like this would probably be a little bit easier to work on. All that I have to do to get this flying is attach my VTX here, and it looks like it's just going to be plug and play. I'll just, of course, double check and make sure the wire outputs are all properly matched. I'll have to take a look here in the instructions and see what this is. It's a power lead for the Cobb LED strip that comes with the frame. It also comes preloaded with a Betaflight tune that has the LED strip set to turn on and off with an aux switch on your transmitter. Is there a manual in the box? So this is a little manual you get for the AIO that runs everything, the flight controller and ESC. What's a BL-Heli-32? Well, that's interesting. The ESC microcontrol unit is an AT32 chip, and it's running BL-Heli-32 firmware. Wow, and it's got a 3 amp 5 volt BUC. 16 megabyte black box and an ICM 42688 gyro. And the flight controller is an F722. Alright, so there should be no problem for running RPM filtering and so on. Oh, this looks like some more information specific to the Pavo35. Yeah. Okay, the instructions here on how to do the last bit of assembling for the front there. So the duct diameter is 92 millimeters, and it takes 90 millimeter props. Yeah, so the mount for the FPV camera as well as the mount for the GoPro are both injection molded plastic. Well, it's interesting how they've used these little injection molded plastic pieces like this receiver holder and antenna mount back here. Another injection molded plastic piece with some nut inserts on it so that it screws onto the frame. And it was the same thing for the for these FPV camera mount brackets here. They've got some sort of like press nut inserted inside there to screw them onto the frame. Wonder if that's lengthened out to any. Wonder if that's measured out to any specific length here. Pre-soldered with a little plug on. Oh, is that what this little plug is for? That I thought was for the maybe for an SMO 4K. All right, just gonna give that a little final press down everywhere and make sure that it's stuck down really nicely. All right, that was pretty easy. Now it's got some cool LEDs on it. Installing a Vista into the Pavo35 was a fairly easy process. The only issue I found with it was that the FPV camera mount seemed to be designed specifically for an 03 camera. The wire in the 03 camera comes out the back, and it uses 2 fasteners to attach the camera. With the camera for the Vista, the wire comes out the bottom, and it uses only 1 fastener in the center. So you have to pick one of the 2 fastening locations for the 03 camera and use that for the center screw on your Vista camera. This offsets it up or down in a weird way. So to go up, you'd have to 3D print some sort of TPU part to lift the GoPro mount up just a little bit. So I decided to mount it on the lower screw, and that leaves the wire coming out of the bottom of the camera pushing up against the frame a little bit. It seems to be okay to me, but it just bothered me that it ends up bending the wire coming out of the camera quite a bit. But it seems to all work fine. Crashed this little guy upside down in the snow, and it's not conformal coated, so maybe I'll just go toss this thing on the on top of the dryer, or on top of the air vent in my truck for a little while and dry it out, because I got some more flights I got to do with this thing.